Hey, well, everybody, welcome Richie Barron, a good bro of mine from San Francisco in the music business. This is Gerald Clark with Seven Planet Broadcasting on February 5th, 2018. And we're going to have an epic conversation for however long it lasts. So say hello to everybody, Richie, and your mic's picking up everything in the background. So.
All right, here I am, Richie Barron, San Francisco. Actually, we're in Vallejo, California, which is across the Crockett Bridge from San Francisco.
Vallejo, okay.
Yeah, Vallejo.
Yeah, so I had some really, I don't know, pretty basic questions for you. And I did a little bit of an intro about some of the music that you've done with me.
Yeah,
But I want you to kind of give a brief history of how you got into the music industry and some of the key figures that you encountered along the way, just to give people an idea of who Richie Barron is.
Okay. Well, I started playing piano when I was 6 years old. We were raised by several families when we were young, my brother and I. And for 9 years, we lived with these people in the Midwest. That's where you're from originally, too, right?
Well,
Arkansas?
I was born in San Diego, but...
oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
But I moved back to the Midwest when I was 7.
Oh, okay. I was born in Augusta, Indiana, which is a suburb of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And these people that raised us were in a little town called Walkerton, which nobody's ever heard of or ever wants to see. It's out of South Bend, Indiana, where most people know where that is. That was the home of Studebaker back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Studebaker cars. My dad, all my uncles worked there. So these people raised us for 9 years in this little, it was on a farm 3 miles out of Walkerton, Indiana. And they were all musically inclined. All their kids played instruments. And Mrs. Steele, the woman, got me playing piano when I was 6 years old.
You were 6 years old? You were 6
when
years
I started.
Old piano? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, my dad bought me a guitar and brought it down to the farm. He bought me a Stella guitar. I think they were made by Sears or somebody. It was an old Stella. I think it was a Stella, yeah, my first guitar. They were probably about $19 at that point in time. And so I liked the guitar much better than the piano at that point because I got into Elvis. Elvis was my mentor, man. I mean, I still know every song Elvis Presley ever did. Deborah wonders how I do it, but I have a memory that's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
I can remember the words to every Elvis song except the gospel stuff because I was never into religion, so I never got off into the gospel stuff he did. But every other Elvis song there is, I knew it. And when I started playing at parties when I was 10 years old, I saw all the women loved Elvis. So naturally, I was prone to doing the Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, and all that stuff because the women loved it. You know, come on.
That's amazing.
As a 10-year-old, I was very progressive towards liking women already.
Yeah, clearly.
So that's how I got into playing the guitar. And I started playing in a teen band when I was 15. It was around South Bend. We played Chicago, Gary, high schools, teen dances galore. We were known as the Accents. And I was 15 when I started in that band and became a big local star, which was a lot of fun in those days. More women, you know.
Yeah. So, well, you started to mention that you weren't into religion, but tell me about what belief system you were raised with and how'd that affect your music choices?
Well, it didn't.
It didn't.
They didn't have anything to do with my musical choices because they made us go to church every Sunday, but I did not get off on the singing from the hymn books and all that stuff that they did. Mr. Steele, he was a great guy, man. He lived to 101. On his 100th birthday, he took a what do you call those 2-seater airplanes? They're open. No, they're open. You just sit on the seats. They got wings and ultralight.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. When it was 100th birthday, he took a ride on an ultralight. That's the kind of guy he was. But he was a deacon in a church, and then we had to go to Sunday school. And I was never off into it. I was off into music. I was off playing Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis, and they never pressured me to try to get into any religious kind of music or anything. So I was never off into it.
Yeah.
I was off into playing guitar and doing my dances. I was on TV a couple times when I was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Back in Chicago, South Bend.
Wow. So you were busking early.
Yeah. I was playing nightclubs by the time I was 18, 19. I had to go in the back room. I couldn't stay out in the bar area naturally.
Right.
So I would play my set and go sit in the back room till the next set. And I started real early playing with guys much older than me. That's why I got off into Ray Charles and that kind of music, soul music.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very young. I started getting off into the funk and soul very young. James Brown, George Clinton, all the funkifying boys.
Right. So at some point in time, though, you started bumping shoulders with a lot bigger names. I know I'm fast forwarding just a little bit, but I want you to mention
I
some
played.
people you worked with.
Yeah, well, I played Las Vegas first time when I was 21. We were on the road. I was on the road already when I was 19. We went from New York. The booker was out of Toledo, Ohio. And we were booked in Las Vegas at the Fremont Hotel. So the first big name I met was Mr. Donkashane, which is named Wayne Newton. Him and his brother Jerry were on the same stage as us. It was a revolving stage in those days back at the Fremont Hotel, downtown Las Vegas. You remember that?
Well, I know where the Fremont was. Yeah.
Yeah, but the revolving stage has probably disappeared years ago. They would have like 3 bands. It was a triple section stage, and the whole stage would revolve, and the next band would come on playing.
Oh, really? Just like Chinese food on a rotisserie, huh?
Exactly right, like a Susie. Yeah, exactly it, man. It was partitioned off, and one band would be playing, going off, and the next band playing, coming on. It was cool. I've never seen another setup like that. That was the only one. And anyway, Wayne Newton and his brother Jerry, I got in with them, and I started eating breakfast with both of them every night. We played 6 nights a week, And it was a great time. I met a lot of people. We went out to the Strip on our days off. I actually met Don Rickles. He sounded on everybody and made fun of everybody at the bar. My guy the drummer was from Newburgh, New York.
Yeah.
No, he was from Queens. Eddie Krieger from Queens, New York. And he had a big Wayne Cochran kind of hairdo, big bouffant. I did too, but not as big as Eddie. He did the teasing and had the whole big hair. So Don Rickles come to him and he says, "And what do you do, son?" And he said, I'm a musician down at the Fremont Hotel with Richie here. He said, and Rickles immediately said, I thought maybe they used you as a mop down there. Turned upside down because of his hair. Then he comes to me and he said, "And what do you do, son?" And I said, "Well, I'm Richie. These guys all play with me down at the Fremont." And he said, "Well, good luck to you." And he moved on. I was the only person he didn't wise off to in the room. I never forgot that. Anyway, and then the light guy, sound light guy, started flashing the light around the room, and he flashed on this table, and there was Ed Sullivan, Carol Burnett, and Dean Martin sitting in a booth watching Don Rickles' show, and that was my introduction to big time people, seeing these fellas in awe.
Wow.
Then we went to another night off first in Vegas. We went out and saw Louis Prima, and he blew me away, man. You remember Louis Prima?
No.
Oh, well.
More of a blues or?
No, Louis Prima was a New Orleans guy. Sam Butera and the Witnesses with Louis Prima. And he had this famous Czech singer, and we were all blown away. The first time we'd seen really big name acts. So that was I played Vegas and Reno and Tahoe and Reno many, many times since then. But that was my introduction into the world of big time music. And then I went to Dallas from that, like a year later.
What year was that?
That was in the 60s. I don't use specific years. I took time periods.
Well,
I can't
I do because I was born in the 60s, like 63.
Yeah, sometimes
so.
I've moved around so much on the road. There's time periods I can't relate when they were. I just remember where I was. I played so many places; it's impossible to remember the entire.
Partying had nothing to do with it, right?
No, I never got off into drugs or nothing at all. My band all did. Every musician in those days smoked pot, as you would know.
Yeah.
But I never got off into drugs. I had to be Big Daddy to 5, 6, 7, 8 musicians. The first thing I did on the road when we came into a town, I found the nearest local gym, be it the YMCA or a little local weightlifting joint. That's what I did. I didn't get off into drugs ever. I never liked pot. I never smoked it. So
that's good therapy, the gym.
Yeah, man.
Especially when you've been on the road and stuff. I used to do that too.
Yeah, I was in great shape in those days. I know you are too, Mr. Black Belt Garapi and all that stuff, man.
Hey,
badass, Gerald.
It takes a lot of work to keep yourself being able to still move.
Sure it does, man.
I have to tell that quick story. I didn't even know my kids. I had a couple of boys that got signed up for, I don't know, kids karate or something in some local strip mall near our house, right? It was an after-school activity kind of thing. And one thing led to another, and they're like, oh, well, here's your free uniform if you want to come and, be with the kids. They're trying to get you to join too, right? So
yeah, right, yeah.
And one thing led to another to keep my kids from getting their brains bashed in. I thought, this is probably something I should be down there with them. One thing led to another. Within 3 years, we all kind of got our black belt together.
Wow, that's cool, man.
And I saw parents just like you and I that would go in and try to do this with their kids.
Yeah.
And it would rip them up, just trying to move in a way where all of a sudden your hip flexors are all torn.
Oh, yeah. You got to be in shape to be doing that stuff, period. Yeah.
Well, I was lucky. I'd been a structural integrator before I got into that because of the crazy path. And it didn't tear me up like it did other people. So I got lucky. But and I still continue maintaining that flexibility and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I try to work out as much as I can, really light weights and stuff anymore, but because I have a bad left knee from a motorcycle wreck, I had 12 bolts and nuts put into my left knee to put it back together when I was 30 years old. We were playing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, in a resort. It was called the Cowboy. It was the only big play. Now Jackson Hole, I hear, is really built up. It's really big.
I've only been through there once. But
yeah, then there was one big club, and that's where we played. Everybody did.
But way back then, nobody was talking about the kind of stuff that we're talking about now, like the Anunnaki, were they?
No way. No, nobody even knows. Just like today, most people, you gotta tell them who the Anunnaki were and are. They don't get it. But I've gotten a lot of people to go and look now.
I know you.
A lot of people that didn't have any idea what they were.
Well, we jumped forward.
They're talking about, right.
We jumped forward a little bit. So how in the world in the music industry did you come into the knowledge of the Anunnaki?
I started looking at, your stuff on YouTube. Then what's his name? Michael Tillinger. Mm-hmm. And he had the Google satellite pictures of all the gold mines, the thousands and thousands in southern Africa, right? Mm-hmm. All the ancient mines. I mean, there's thousands, I guess, thousands.
Yeah, but how did you get there? How did you get to listening?
I just did it. I didn't know. I just did it. I started I've always been into. I saw a actual ship when I was 10 years old. Deborah said, "Are you going to tell them about that?" And I said, "I don't know if I'm actually going to get off into that or not."
Well, that's cool. But you had a predisposition to thinking that the reality that was being presented to you wasn't the full.
Wasn't real. Yeah, right. I've always been a different thinker. I've always.
Yeah. So. Well, oftentimes artists and musicians are.
Yeah.
So I had an encounter with a UFO when I was young too, and I didn't even know what it was. I just thought it was a crazy aircraft that the military had, and I never asked questions about it for many, many, many years after that. Nobody was talking about UFOs. It's like.
Yeah. Well, I always thought I was some strange dude in the first place. But went back in my teens, I used to think I could levitate things. All kinds of chicks thought I was nuts after they were around me a while. Hey, watch this pillow at the end of your couch. I can raise this, and But anyway, it was Walkerton, Indiana, man, out in the middle of nowhere when I saw what I saw.
So look, going back to Tellinger's stuff though, and seeing tangible evidence for what this story was. So somehow you had the story about the Anunnaki being in Africa.
Yeah. Okay. And Jim Davidson. I was in contact with him. Okay. You know who he is? Jim Davidson? He lives in South Africa. He's got stuff up all the time. He's on YouTube. He's on Facebook all the time with all his, what do they call them? The shims and the Anunnaki, old Anunnaki buildings and et cetera, et cetera.
I'll have to write down his name and make sure it's.
Yeah, Jim Davidson. Yeah, he's an interesting dude, man. Then I saw your stuff too. A lot of your stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so that got me up.
Probably since 2013, I put up hundreds of videos.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, though, a lot of this stuff just came to me. I didn't study anything that hard. I just started writing, and it came to me. And then I would go and look, and I was right about what I wrote. I don't know how that happened. I'm not going to try to explain it, but I told you I'm kind of a different human, and I actually am. I'm not bragging about it. When I write stuff, it comes to me, and it's usually right on. I don't know how it happened. Well, you gave me a lot of insight into a lot of what to write too. So.
Well, two instances where you were inspired. I think I made notes about this. So you kind of told me how you came to the knowledge of the Anunnaki. What was the inspiration that led you to write the Anunnaki Came for Gold? Because that's about when we crossed paths, right?
Yeah, but I'd already written it when you came onto it on YouTube and liked it.
Right.
That's the first time I saw you was when you liked my song. I had already done it. Right. My wife Deborah had already made a video for the song.
Right. That's how we connected. Okay, good.
Yeah. You came on under the YouTube video, liking it. Then I got in touch with you, and then we went from there. It was automatic.
Because there weren't too many people writing songs about the Anunnaki. I kind of kept.
Nobody.
I was kind of watching the space. There was a couple of people that afterwards did.
Kind of a rap version or something. I heard.
Right.
But it was nothing like mine. It's a whole story right there.
Exactly. So that caught my attention. I thought, there are a couple of people out in the music business that are aware of the story, and that's why I reached out to you. So,
yeah. All right.
Okay.
And then Belota, the same thing. You told me about her, the mother of you, mother of me.
Oh yeah.
That got me off into. Then I read something in a paper that you sent me, or I found somewhere. It said about the Anunnaki had so much more leisure time after they made the humans change their DNA, so they'd work the gold mines. They had this huge feast to celebrate their newfound leisure time, and that set off a whole verse of stuff for me to write.
Well, let's go back a little bit, because I was in touch with you, and I shared the screenplay for Odyssey Key with you. And we were kind of talking for a little while, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to implement this thing, and I'm writing around here. Do you have any music for that? Right?
Yeah.
So we were just kind of going like this just a little bit.
Usually it's too complex for me. The way you wrote things was too complex for my writing. Nothing rhymed. It has to be in rhyme and rhythm for me to deal with it. So I gleaned things enough out of it to write the songs. That's all.
Well, the timing is what I want to bring out without interrupting you.
Oh yeah, right.
I was releasing. I had just finished where I was doing the part where
about a day before, I think, or something.
That was crazy.
I know, man.
I had just done Belota swinging in the swing in a Riddu at the temple.
See, we're both weird, man. I told you.
and then the same day you sent me the email saying, "Hey, I just released this Belota song."
Yeah, right.
So it was that was wild to me. The synchronicity was too crazy to ignore.
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
The way things. Yeah, that's the way things go for me usually. Things just come and happen. Sometimes I know who's calling me before they call, and on and on. Yeah, you and me are both out there, bro, and love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't want to deal with you if you were normal.
I know it's hard. It's like the more specialized you get in anything, the more you narrow down the field of the birds.
Right.
And pretty soon you're you're out in the nest by yourself, right?
Yeah. See, you just said it. You said it. Pretty soon you're kind of alone in what you do.
Well, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want to go into. Now you've released this information, these songs. Anunnaki Came for Gold and Princess Belota. By the way, Belota and the other names I put in the screenplay are alias names for the actual Anunnaki that are in my books. So
yeah, right.
That's supposed to create the mystery of you figuring out from the movie that, oh, is this about the Anunnaki? Oh, well, which one is that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's also done for legal reasons. I was.
Oh, I know you told me that. Yeah.
Anyway, so Belota is Ninma Belet Ili.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us about her.
I gleaned that from Pat Broderick, your buddy, the artist. Man, his artwork is fabulous on the Anunnaki stuff. I can't believe it.
Yeah, here's some.
I blew up and got big pictures, the posters that you have. The Anunnaki right behind you. You got his stuff right behind you.
I'm putting it up right now. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
I'm getting.
I got a
screen. I think it's from the wind moving.
Oh yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
There it is. I see it. A little bit of flash. I don't think it's hurting anything. It's not
terrible. If I put my hoodie on, this green around my head goes away. So actually, I'm not going to do that because it's bugging the hell out of me. Okay.
Yeah. You all right?
See how it
there
goes,
you go.
right? It takes all the green, like.
That's weird.
I don't know why.
That's weird.
It's a cheap green screen program that's built into Zoom. It's not.
Okay.
It's not like a green screen key you put on and hit film. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
you're the expert on that stuff.
Well,
Broderick. Yeah, I've got a couple big posters I blew up for Bandito, Richard Segovia, my partner in crime in the Barron Segovia Productions.
Yeah.
Now we have your movie poster up, the Odyssey Kai posters. You said you're going to send me some more of those also.
Yeah, they're in the mail, buddy.
Okay, great. Yeah. Because we want to we're doing a live radio show soon at the end of the month. I want to take them posts. I want everybody, we have a bunch of them. I get more of them out there.
You'll get about 20 or 30 of them in 2 different shipments.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Are you working on the movie again? Kind of getting onto it again now?
Actually, I just finished fully annotating the screenplay, and this is about the 5th revision. And I think
I know.
Did I send you a link to it? I think I did.
I'm not. I have to look. I'm not sure.
It's a big file. It's on Dropbox. Okay, but what I did.
Dropbox. Okay.
Yeah. So what I did is I went through and rewrote the entire screenplay based on my implementation and my trailers. So I went through.
Yeah.
I went all the way up through A1S9 in implementation experimenting.
Yeah.
Then I switched off and did 8 trailers, and those trailers covered various scenes in the screenplay. So
when do you? Can I ask you this? When do you ever sleep?
I sleep about 4 to 5 hours a night.
Yeah, I can imagine that, man. I know you do stuff.
Sometimes I crash, and I got to take 3 days off. But
yeah, I hear you.
I just work when I'm inspired, probably like you, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I get up in the middle of the night, write most songs. That's when I get them. Yeah. I get up out of bed about 1 a.m, put my robe on, get down to the kitchen table, write the song. Then I get up and look at it in the morning. There it is.
What did I write?
How'd that come? Where'd that come from?
Yeah. So I just redid this whole screenplay. I annotated it with videos, with pictures.
Oh, cool.
Reorganized the dialogue so they were more snappy back and forth, not too many speakers.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And this, like I said, this is about the 5th time I've done this, but this time I'm going to put it up for sale. So I'm going to publish it and make it available for other people that want to see it. And you can watch the videos and all kinds of, get an idea, and it really brings it to life versus just text in a paper, okay?
Yeah, right.
So I'm in the review process, but I think I'm ready to release that any day now. So once that's done, we're starting a marketing effort. I've got 2 different people that are working with me now, and they're going to be putting together an entire kit to put out to various producers and things to see if we can't get this from concept level to the next level. So,
yeah, right on. That's great, man.
Yeah, so that's.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I'm not going to stop learning to animate, but it takes years to really get good at it.
And that's complex, man.
I've only got 9 months under my belt, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to keep getting better. So.
Well, you've done amazingly well in that time, I tell you. some of the avatar stuff you see is, it's really hard to do. I can tell that it's not that easy to do.
It's not. And actually what I found out is the limitation is your machine has a lot to do with it too, because
sure.
if your machine can't keep up with you and it can't even render it, you're going to get frustrated really quickly. So,
yeah, right.
And speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to all the people on GoFundMe that helped me buy a replacement computer so I could do what I was doing. I didn't have the video card that was required. I didn't have anything when I started.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, so it's an iterative process, but I'm actually reaching out to people right now, and I'm going to give a shout out to somebody that you probably wouldn't expect, but I'm going to give a shout out to George Green, who's been an alternative truth speaker, and I think he's got the wherewithal to help me take this to the next level. So
right on. That's good, man.
I'm coming to hook up with you, buddy.
Right on, George. We love you, man. Come on, help Gerald out.
Look up George on the internet. He's
okay.
He's titled as I guess you'd say a whistleblower for the Illuminati banking industry. That's how he.
Oh yeah, okay. I've read a lot about that stuff. Yes, sir.
So he's in a dangerous space to be saying stuff.
Yes, he is. Yeah, right.
So anyway, but he's one of us if he's doing that.
Right.
So listen, I'm not going to keep you too long today. I made a previous video introducing you. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask me while you have me on the line?
No, there's just one thing I wanted to say about Belota and your wife, Christa, are the same person. I love it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
In case you didn't know, Gerald's wife, Christa, is one of the vegan cooking expert. There she is. It looks just like her, too.
Yeah, that one's kind of dark. Let me see if
we have her cookbook, and it's fabulous. I mean, the pictures in that book, the book was like, I don't know how much it was, but it's well worth every penny because the pictures in the book are marvelous.
Didn't she do
food?
She did all of that. She took all the pictures, did all the recipes, verified everything. Well, I got to verify some of it. Yeah,
that's a smart woman. You're lucky, like me. I married my music attorney 21 years ago. In fact, March the 3rd will be our 20th year. We've been together 21 years. It'll be our 20th anniversary, March 3rd.
This is my house, in case you didn't know, right there. See?
Oh yeah.
That's the cave I live in. So, and this is the island that I designed for Zog's Island. Can you see it there? Oh
yeah, I love it. That's beautiful, man.
That's where Zog the Neanderthal that got abducted by the Anunnaki lives. So I created I created all of this on my computer. It took me 18 hours a day for 9 months of playing around. I almost burned myself out, but I'm ready to go.
I saw that in the video. That was really good.
Yeah.
The Neanderthals.
Yeah, Zog.
Right. Yeah. There. Right there.
So actually, I want to say something about this Neanderthal model I made. I went and looked. It's kind of shimmering around right now, but I went.
I see it. Yeah.
I went and looked for a 3D model of a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal, somebody to use for my screenplay. And I only found one, and that was any good. And it wasn't really the one I wanted. I didn't really like it. So I created this one entirely from scratch.
Yeah. Wow.
The grunting, the sphere, the skin texture, the hair, the crotch hair, all of it. I did all of it.
and you did it really good too, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's Zog, and then I don't know where Eva is. She's in here somewhere. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. Oh, here they are together. Here they are together. There's Zog.
Yeah. Zog and Eva. Right on. Yeah.
So anyway, well, listen, buddy, it's been really great catching up with you, and I know we're going to do more together. I wish I could say the movie's coming out next week and go watch it. But for anybody who's ever
see
to make a full 2-hour video of your screenplay, it's a lot of work.
But especially by yourself. Well, not possible.
There are people out there that can help. But they all have to make a living too, so you got to have money to bring them in.
It's like me recording. I got to have 8 guys in there recording with me. So.
Yeah, so Well, listen, buddy. Let's say bye to everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
Gerald, thanks for having me on, man. That's great. That's marvelous.
And thanks to Deb for helping us overcome issues with Zoom so we could get going. So that's really awesome. And we'll do it again. We'll do more.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Gerald.
Love you, brother. Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.
Soon, man. All right.